You guys are hungry, huh? That is a recessive red with white flights. This black and white cock here is Almond, or Stipper, same thing. And I believe it's Almond with spread. I might be wrong on that, but I believe it's Almond with spread. And I believe it's essentially not too dissimilar from a classic Almond, but it's missing the bronze factor. But yeah, I think if I got this right, I think if you add, so do you see this quite pale white with just a few flakes on it? That's Almond, and that's just pure the Almond gene itself, right? But I believe if it's mated with a dark pigeon, which has got dark blacks, and potentially spread, I can't remember then, but like definitely darker pigeon, it'll bring out a darker Almond. I believe, I'm sure it was the spread that made the actual blotches spread out, but I'd have to confirm that. But it's definitely Almond. I believe it's on a blue base, that's why it's black, and it's missing bronze because it's which is why it doesn't look quite so like a lot of the classic Almonds. That was one of the ones I was given, or I bought or whatever, and they originally started all these pigeons. And so far I don't think he's bred. Well, the baby that came from his nest was the only 2 live eggs between him and his wife, which is, oh, where is she? There she is. He was married to her. I think I might have said this yesterday actually, so I'm going to stop repeating myself. But I will do a proper video, and apologies for not doing one before up till now, with the genes. And like you say, probably best to grab one gene and then work through the families with that, show all the children and the parents and what went in, what went out, etc., if that's of interest, which it appears to be. And yeah, apologies for not doing it earlier. There's a lot of genes, you know, I'm the first year fancier, so I'm quite new to this, and the last thing I want to do is put out wrong information on the internet. And so whereas I'm fairly sure about a lot of things, there's also a lot of things I'm fairly unsure about. So that's why so far I've just been putting out what I know. But when I put a proper video out with the genetics, I want it to be 100% correct. So that is what I will try and do. So I'll start off with the ones that I know for sure, and we'll go from there. And by the way, in terms of opal, I don't have opal in this loft. I've got a pigeon I call opal, before I realised there was a gene called opal. Yeah, I don't have opal per se, but I do believe I need opal, because opal, I think if I mate opal with indigo, is that right? I think that gives me Andalusian. Anyway, there's some beautiful pigeons that you get with opal, so I definitely need opal, and I know someone who might have an opal, so I might have to go and sort that out soon. But right now the primary objective is to get these birds ready to start flying. Well, not all of them, but certainly a lot of them. Certainly all the ones that I've got more than one on, for absolute sure. So I need to, because I haven't properly flown these, and to be honest, I'm a bit overwhelmed by trying to let them out and get them back in again. So the only few times I have let these things out, we've lost them for ages, and so that will be coming. It's getting warm over the next month or so, and so my plan was to start breeding on February the 14th, and also certainly with those babies, but also you know, from around that time to be starting actually trap training, if not before. But I get a new trap, a Sputnik type thing, which I'm going to cut a hole in the aviary for, which arrives in approximately a month and a half, I think it is. So that's that, and as soon as I get that, then I'm going to cut a big hole in the aviary for that, and trap training will commence. So then we'll get to see how these birds fly, which I know for sure that some of them roll pretty well. So, but those ones I don't necessarily want to let out just yet. I want to let their kids go out first. So we'll see. It might be a bit of a process to get these birds properly flying and conditioned, especially as I think I've been overfeeding them for a while. But you know, everything starts one step at a time. So now the actual birds seem to be quite healthy and are starting to eat at reasonable times, we are almost ready for the primary objective, apart from the genetics and the colours, which is get them flying. So that will be very exciting. Anyway, hope I've explained a few bits and pieces, and apologies I haven't responded before. I just saw this morning that there were like 3-4 messages that I hadn't responded to. So I will respond to those briefly when I'm back in the house. But I've just got back from central London after having a long day at work in centre, so sorry, I just stood on one of their little tails. I wasn't impressed. So I just had to give them a late feeding today, hence them all being very hungry, but it's actually done quite well because their droppings were getting a little bit loose before, with them being fed twice a day. After, essentially, while I was breeding, they were all being, so during last year there was a long period when I was breeding, and they were all being fed, because I've got no sections in this loft, I haven't got the space for it at the moment. They're all being fed with continual feed, and so some of them, but in fairness, after a not that long period, they all levelled out and were being fairly reasonable, but some of them were eating considerably more than they should have been. So since a month or two ago, I've been trying to get them down to 2 times a day feeding, and now I've done that. Now they were still slightly loose, so I'm now going to, no, last couple of days have been 1 time a day, so let's see how that levels out. So anyone who can confirm whether that's a recessive red stipper or dual factor recessive red stipper, or any details on this one, I would love to know, because I'd love to breed more of him. He's a beautiful pigeon, absolutely beautiful. I believe that's a DeRoy. I believe that's an Almond. And I believe that the fact it's got bronze on it is just Almond, or part of the fact that Almond generally contains bronze factor. But see, I hate talking about these things because that's my recollection of the facts, but I'd rather confirm it before putting these things out there, so don't rely on that, because as I said, I will be putting this information out once I've 100% confirmed, but putting that kind of a video out involves a lot more work, which I have to get work around work, so I'm just trying to put out what's useful. This guy here, pretty sure, is Anthracite and Indigo with pied bar. Now, where is... and that is pure Anthracite Indigo bar. Can't fully see how pretty it is actually from above. Now that is obviously toy stencil, but I'm not sure which of variants this is. I believe they call them TS1, TS2, TS3, or the 3 sets of genes. I can show you what his parents are. That's one of the other, oh no, that's one of the parents, that's the dad. That's Nutmeg. Oh, I call him Nutmeg. So that's the dad. And that's the mum. Now they haven't had any barred toy stencils, but this is the toy stencil breeding pair. I'll try and show you from the side. Hello, mister. Oh, he's blocking out. I'll show you later. And he is Almond. He's a recessive red Almond, I believe. But that was one of his children. Whoa, guys! Don't knock the thing off and then get scared. He is just recessive red with white flights, and he was bred by this guy who's Almond recessive red, and who I believe is Indigo on a black. I'll have to confirm that one actually. See, this is why I try not to talk about this stuff, but I will, as you say, put a video with each gene one at a time, and I'll do it over the next few days. He is Indigo bar, and I don't think he's got Anthracite. Well, because he's young, it doesn't fully show the normal thing you get with Indigo bar, which is that. See, that's a slightly older Indigo bar. So it's a brother or sister of them. I think, well, this is a cock. And this guy has, you can see the bronze factor going through, and that is apparently what you get with Indigo bar. So This is one of the black almonds. Now this one is a black almond. It's totally black. So I'm guessing this is the spread gene on a very dark almond. You know, where the whole tail is totally black, tip of the tail, with spread, basically. And all of the black ones that I have, and all of the almonds, are all from that hen. And this guy and that cock, which I would never have paired myself, because I've heard right from the start that you never pair two almonds. However, when I was given them by someone who possibly didn't know, I was told that they were good to breed and that they were a breeding pair and that they'd never had any problems and they were totally fine to breed. However, and in fairness, for the first 7 or something babies that they had, they were. But then, the next 2 rounds, they both time had dual factor almond babies. And both of them came out blind. Both of them came out bigger. And that is the dual factor baby in this loft. So dual factor almond, and he was, when I say blind, he did have bad eyes and bulging eyes at first, which went down and turned to normal size as he got older, and now he seems 100% fine, like he seems to have perfect vision and seems to be totally fine. But the other one, the second one that came out, is still partially blind and is living at my mum's at the moment because he was getting pecked on by the others in the loft, and at the moment the other one can't fly, whereas this one can. So this one could fly from about a month after the rest of his age, whereas the other one is like 2-3 months old and still can't fly. But he's getting better, and he seems like, as he realises how to use his tail and things, and gets over the fact that it's harder for him to see with slightly cloudy eyes, he seems to be getting better. Now this guy here, this, I think he's so beautiful. I'm not entirely sure, I think he's a cock. And this is Anthracite and Indigo. Bar, obviously. I think it's very beautiful. I call him Earl Grey. What I'm trying to do with these, I mean, we haven't always done it, but with the names, we tried to come up with themes. So, this couple, these are the most amazing couple. This is a brown bar hen and a white anthracite cock, and they are absolutely amazing. They make the most amazing pigeons, and they also are very good rollers. So, not that I have seen them roll, but that's my understanding. So, they, I believe, have both got anthracite, both got indigo, and obviously she's like a brown bar, but he's very pale, very variant of them. Anyway, so all of the anthracite ones are from that pair. And he seems to have come out very prettily. Oh, excuse my use of the English language there. Very prettily. But hopefully you know what I mean. If you see, I don't know, I'm just trying to show the neck, you might be able to see there's these little white hairs on the neck, and that's apparently a sign of anthracite. I don't know how well it shows up. I might have to get a better camera, or oh no, hang on, yeah, you can see it. Just you see the white hairs on the neck, but also it's beautiful, like that green. I need to get some judging cages or something to properly put these guys while I talk about them, and so you guys can get a better view as to what the hell I'm talking about. But These guys are beautiful, same parents. This is Anthracite, Indigo, and brown bar. No, sorry, faded brown bar. This is faded, Anthracite. No, sorry, no indigo. Faded, Anthracite, and brown bar. So faded brown bar with Anthracite, I think is how you say it. And I've got another one. I think they might both be cocks, you know, although at times I think one of them might be a hen. So here's the original other recessive red cock. See, this is what makes me question this guy, because he's so dark, so I don't know if he's just older, but where's that guy gone? Here. And this guy, when he turned up, he didn't have any dark around his neck. So I don't know if, as he gets older, he will turn into wherever you are. Here, this guy. If he does, I'll be a very happy man. Very happy indeed, because I've got quite a few like that that will hopefully turn like that. And I think he's so pretty. He's got his beautiful green neck, which with the sun and the light on him, you get like these almost gold shards in. And he's a really, yeah, he's a cock that's got a lot of character. Both of them are, in fact. Initially, when I bought the initial few pigeons, I was told this guy here was actually a hen. And so the first time, when I didn't know what I was doing, I tried putting him in a dog crate for about a week with this guy. But soon found out that they were both cocks. So poor guy didn't know what was going on. But anyway, probably I thought he was a girl, but because I did. Anyway, he's an interesting one. He's so beautiful. I know he looks quite plain, just white, but A, he's larger, and he's got such soft feathers, very soft feathers. And the other thing that's interesting about these Stipper dual factor almonds is they call them ST/ST, I believe, is that I believe, do you see, I'm trying to show you, but he keeps wriggling. Hey guy. Hello pretty. Well, one thing is that because Almond's sex linked, these guys, the dual factor ones, can only be cocks, I believe. And the other thing is that apparently they always have tiny fleck of not white. As you see, if I've got this right, on the neck. Now the other one doesn't have that at the moment, but this guy only got that as he got older after his first molt, so I'm assuming it comes in after the first molt. But yeah, anyway, I have got one of the black ones, so all of the black ones are almonds except for one that came from this couple, so the Anthracite Indigo couple. So him and her produced one entirely black one, so I believe that will be the spread gene getting involved, because apparently these guys, who I'm very lucky to have been given their full genetic history pretty much, because the guy I got them from is like the master of genetics, so I think it was the hen's father had spread, or it might have been the cock's father, I'll have to confirm which one, but one of the two parents has spread, and it wasn't sure as to whether spread was in the gene mix, but it appears there must be, because, well, unless someone else mated in, which is a possibility in a shared loft. So anyhow, well, that is that. But the black cock, I have to dig him out. I think it might be this one, the one with 20 at the end, is it? I can't can't see the numbers right now, but is this it? Hello, who's there? Black carp. Just 1 second. So this guy here, yeah, I call him Bean. No, yeah, Black Bean, basically. So I call him Bean, and he is the one that comes from, this is his dad, the Anthracite white cock to the right. Beautiful lad. This guy is so pretty, I think. I mean, some people might think he's quite plain, but to me, I think he's amazing because he's got this amazing subtle colour variations. I can't remember the type of swift it was that originally the anthracite was made from. I think it was, is it Genetti? I'll have to confirm that. But it was came, I think, from a swift pigeon that was bred in and crossed in and crossed in and crossed in, and many generations of crossing later, we have this beautiful guy. And I believe the fact that he's so light is just the fact that he's got a very light expression of the anthracite phenotype. But if anything I'm saying is wrong, please correct me, guys, because I'm sure there's people out there who know more than me, because I'm only learning this stuff. So this hen, I believe, is brown bar, faded brown bar, yep. This is one of the 2 pink almonds. Well, recessive red almonds, but I call them pink because they started off very pink. They're like the whole bird was pink. And there's another one that's very similar to that. But anyway, sorry, I'm doing another mumble video where I try and cover some of the genetics, the bits I know, and I am probably not making special amounts of sense. But what I will say is, yeah, this is the other one. This was the nest mate. These 2 were nest mates. I think they're very pretty. Now I've seen this on one of the main, I think it's Angel Fire or something, one of the main genetic websites where they talk about pigeons under almond. I think it was there. As a type of almond. I believe it was recessive red related, but there was a specific name they gave. I'll have to confirm what that is. Here's the other faded brown bar with anthracite. Do you see the white neck? It's like, so it's not just, see this one here does have a crisp bar, it's just it's molting, and so that's faded brown bar, and that's faded brown bar with anthracite. Now do you see it's much lighter, and do you see the neck? It's got the especially white tips of the neck. The dad, oh no, there's that's faded brown bar, but she's got lots of other genes as well. I think she might have recessive opal or something like that. She's got something that, like, things that she doesn't display, but I won't go into that because I'm not 100% on that, so I'll have to dig out properly the information before I do that. So I think this guy's beautiful. Do you see there's almost like fish scales? I think this guy's beautiful too. This guy's great, although I don't know if he'll roll very well, because even if I was prepared to let him out, because he's so big and heavy. But he's got a lot of character. As far as I'm concerned, he must be a show roller. I don't think he's an actual roller, but this guy here, he's always the first cock to stick his wings up in the air and start parading himself around. So he's got so much character, that guy. He's a real nice pigeon. But anyhow, this one's an interesting one of the toy stencils. This one has got basically 2 eyes, different colours. So one side has got a yellow eye, the other eye it's a bullseye. So do you see this side? I think it's the yellow. Yeah, this one's the yellow. Hello. Excuse me. Just got to see his eye. Yeah, and there's the bullseye. See, there's the bullseye. There's the bullseye. And that's his brother behind him. There's this guy. His brother. They are all from the toy stencil pair I showed you. This one here, they turned around. Oh, the cock's replaced the hen. So where's the hen? Where is the hen? Where is? Oh, here she is. Here she is. She's a pretty hen. Come here, dear. Look at you. Aren't you pretty? Aren't you pretty, huh? Such a beautiful young lady. No? Apparently, this lady here hasn't got the full 10 toy stencil set. Apparently, if she did, she'd be much whiter. So the bronze apparently would be white. Although I have to say, as she gets older, it is whitening up. Definitely. But anyway, I think she's beautiful as she is, and I'd prefer her with bronze, quite frankly. But apparently, I should be aiming for a much whiter phenotype to have the full toy stencil set of jeans. And this is the, in case you missed it earlier, this is the dual factor Almond, dual factor Stipper. This is Hetrozygous, is it? Sorry. And so this guy has got Almond on both sides, which obviously means that you are more likely, if you breed from him to anything else, to get an Almond. But I believe the risk is that you're also more likely to get more like him, which are fine if it's like him, but if he's like his brother, it's terrible because he's still having blind issues. And if you could see the horribleness of a pigeon who can barely see and the trauma of having to feed him for months, then you wouldn't consider. I have to say, please don't take any of the videos I do which have got these beautiful pigeons in them and think that that's a reason to start breeding Almond to Almond. Never breed Almond to Almond. Certainly, like, you know, I've got these guys sitting together, but I'm not letting any of their eggs hatch, and I will split them as soon as I have figured out who I can pair both of them to. Because of the fact that I've not got a joined up loft, I've got to basically split them, and the only way I can see of doing it, because last time when I paired everyone up, there were so many fights and ruckuses between these guys that the only way I could see of so yeah, it took months before they all settled down and decided they're happy with their partners and who they were and everything. So now when I split them, the only way I could see of doing it is to lock them with food and water for a couple of days at least, so that both the cock and the hen are paired up to someone that I can see that they have interest in, which obviously is someone that I also want them to be paired with. But anyway, so that's the plan, is to pair possibly him to her, but I don't know, but certainly him to something else and her to something else, so that I can break those two. Because yeah, as I say, the risk and the, yeah, I wouldn't wish blind animal on anything, so on anyone. So you alright there, Mr. DeRoy? Hey, Mr. DeRoy. Now, not all of the red ones are as dark as that, but his colouring is really beautiful, and I think a lot of it came from the fact that it's this couple. This couple, sorry for the footage, I'll try and get much better footage where I'm not just waving the camera around. I've got a tripod out. I just came in and tried to get this after work. So yeah, this couple, I think because she's so dark, and then with his recessive red, that's why I think I've been very lucky with the recessive red ones. But also I don't know if this might possibly be dual factor recessive red. But if that's the case, I believe she'd have to be recessive red if the video I watched last night was correct. And I believe that's how recessive genes work. So, yeah, which I don't think she does have recessive red. So, can't see it being the case. But anyway, so in that case, it must be that the beautiful, deep red of this DeRoy is just because of the fact that it's red mixed with dark. Because if you see, the other, well, he's a DeRoy, but still got the recessive red gene, obviously. And, you know, certainly the father is a lot lighter. And the other one, look, this hen is another almond with recessive red, and she is much lighter too. You alright? I think this guy might actually turn into a Qualmond. No, I'm pretty sure I'm learning what a Qualmond is, but he seems pretty similar to the one that, thank you for your comment on pineapple, wherever pineapple is. But it's good to confirm that pineapple is a Qualmond who now I can't find, so pineapple, where are you? Where are you, pineapple? Oh. Right, I'm gonna have to dig him out. There you are, dear pineapple. I thought I'd lost you. I love pineapple. Pineapple has paired up with this one I call Dragon. And as I say, I believe pineapple, thanks to ARCE 33 Lofts. Thank you, because I think you confirmed that he is a Qualmond type of almond. And I'm pretty sure that when he was younger, he looked very similar to this guy. So I think this is Qualmond at a younger age. Right. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. And I apologise for the waffles. And hope that there was some useful information to it. But please don't use this as an informational video. I'm not even going to write the word genetics on it, because it's really just me waffling. I'd like to confirm a lot of this stuff before I put it out as such. But anyway. Okay, thank you. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.